Hi friends, I'm glad you came today. We're going to do some library time. And today I brought the story of the Three Little Pigs. And if you notice down here, it doesn't even have an author's name. And that's because this kind of story is called a folk tale. And folk tales are such old stories that we don't even know who the first authors, the first people to write these stories. Mostly these were told by mouth, it's called orally, and they were told great grandparents would tell them to their children, and then those grandparents would tell them to those children, and on all the people would pass them down by telling them to their family through just telling them out loud, by saying them out loud. But then later on, people would start to write them down. So that is why they have a special home in the library that is not the fiction section, even though we can tell just by looking at this, we know this is a fiction book. We can see the pigs are wearing clothes and living in a house. So we know this has to be pretend, that this can't be true fact. This is fiction. We do know the illustrator's name. It is illustrated by Mei Matsuka. And we know what the illustrator does, right? The illustrator draws the pictures. The illustrator draws the pictures. We can have good books because the illustrator draws the pictures. All right, well, let's start reading The Three Little Pigs. You've probably heard it before, and this is a great one. You'll enjoy it. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived in a very cozy cottage on the hill. They loved to eat all the delicious food their mother made them every day. They ate so much food that it wasn't long before the three little pigs had grown so big that there was not any room for them in that cozy little cottage anymore. "I'm sorry," said their mother one morning, "but you are grown now, and it is time for you to go make your own way in the world and build your own house." So the very next day, the three little pigs left home to go build their own homes. "Don't forget to watch out for the big bad wolf," called their mother as she waved goodbye to them. "He might eat you for supper, so you'll need to build a big, fine, strong house, and do that as quickly as you can so you can stay away from him and be safe." "Don't worry, Ma," they oinked. "We can look after ourselves." And the three pigs trotted off down the hill, each taking a different path to find a way to build a home. It wasn't long before the first little pig met a farmer, and he was pulling a cart filled with straw. "Please, may I have some of your straw to build a house?" asked the first little pig. "Of course," replied the farmer, "but a straw house won't be very strong." But the little pig didn't listen to the farmer, and soon he was busy stacking the bundles of straw for his new house. In no time at all, that house that was made of straw was finished, and the little pig went inside for a nap. He had just closed his eyes when there was a knock at his door. "Who's that?" It was the big bad wolf, and he was hungry. "But don't worry, the pig will be safe." Little pig, let me come in," growled the wolf. "No," cried the little pig, "not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," laughed the wolf. And that is just what he did. He huffed and he puffed and he blew down the house with a whoosh. Well, the first little pig went running as fast as his feet could carry him to his brother's house. And meanwhile, the second little pig was walking along the road when he saw a woodcutter piling up sticks. "Please, may I buy some of your sticks?" he asked politely. "I want to build a house." "Of course," answered the woodcutter, "but a house made of sticks will soon fall down." But the second little pig wasn't listening. He was much too busy planning his new stick home. Soon the house was finished, and the little pig had just sat down to rest when there was a knock on his door. You know who that is. It was the big, bad wolf. He was even hungrier now. Little pig, let me come in," he growled. "No way, not by the hair of my chin," cried the second little pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," he cried. And that's exactly what the wolf did. He huffed and he puffed and whoosh, he blew down that second pig's house. And the second little pig went running as fast as he could to his brother's house. Meanwhile, the third little pig had met a builder, a home builder. And he saw that he had some bricks. And he said, "Please, may I buy some of your bricks to build my house?" "Of course," replied the builder. "A fine, strong house of bricks will last forever." The little pig took the builder's advice. He would build the strongest house in the land. Finally, after a hard day's work, the house was finished. It had 4 strong walls of brick, a tiled roof, a sturdy wooden door, and a large fireplace with a chimney. What a wonderful house. The third little pig had just put a pot of turnips on the fire to boil when he saw his 2 little brothers running down the road, and they were closely followed by the big, bad wolf. "Quick!" cried the third little pig. "Hide in here! Come in my home! I will keep you safe!" The wolf, who was very hungry right now, banged on the sturdy front door. Little pigs, let me come in," he growled, and his tummy was rumbling very loudly from hunger. "No way! Not by the hairs of our chins," cried the 3 little pigs. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," laughed the wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed. But he was getting so tired because that brick house stood firm. The wolf was furious. He got his ladder and he climbed up on that roof and he shouted down the chimney, "If I can't blow down your house, I will come down that chimney and gobble you up." The big bad wolf jumped down the chimney and landed right in that pot of turnips. Splash! And the turnips went everywhere. Well, that pot was hot because it had been on the fire, so he burned his tail, and he said, "Yow!" And he jumped out of the fire and ran screaming out of the house, and the 3 little pigs never saw him again. They were safe inside their homes, and the 3 little pigs lived happily ever after in that house made of bricks. The end. I'm so glad they were safe folk tales and fairy tales always usually have a good ending, even if it seems kind of maybe a little scary. It always has a good ending where they're safe and things work out well. Well, I hope that you are safe and home at your house, and I am looking forward to seeing you very soon. I hope you're reading some wonderful books. And pretty soon, the next time we have library together, I am going to bring some puppets, and we can hear the story of the three little pigs with the puppets. All right, friends, bye. I'll see you next time.